What is going on to all my Foundation fans out there, and welcome back to my channel Movie Files. Elliot back again with my weekly recap, breakdown, and review of the latest episode of Apple TV Plus Foundation. We're breaking down episode 7, which was titled Mysteries and Martyrs, an episode in which we get all 4 of our main plots and some of our subplots in one episode. Did it work? Was it too bloated of an episode? Well, we're going to break it all down here in this spoiler review, but before we do so, make sure you're checking me out on all my other social media accounts. If you all are new to the channel, well, welcome to the community. Consider subscribing and hitting that notification bell. That way you can get the alert from when I drop new content. If you all enjoyed this spoiler review of episode 7 of Foundation, well, make sure to like and share the review. It helps out the channel a lot, but I also appreciate all the support. And in those comments, once you've seen the 7th episode, because of course we're talking spoilers, let me know your pros, your cons, which out of the 4 stories did you enjoy the most, which one didn't work for you all, and then of course let me know your thoughts, your theories, and your predictions like Harry for the final 3 episodes of season 1 in Foundation in the comments below. So just quickly, just my initial thoughts of the 7th episode. It did feel a little bloated for me, and I'll get into my reasons why in this review here, but seeing the Harry and the gal stuff, that to me kind of felt kind of forced in the episode. It was some good information nonetheless, but I just felt like it was forced in the episode and it really felt misplaced. But I'm not going to lie, the stuff that we're getting with the Terminus people, Salvar and Farah, that's really intriguing to me so far. I know some people aren't the biggest fans of that plot, but that's where I find the most action from the particular plot, and I find it very intriguing just seeing the journey of her, Farah's people, but also, as I say every single week, whenever we spend time with Lee Pace and him on this faith walk that he's going to take in the next week is really intriguing to me, and him going back and forth with Halima is just very intriguing. So there's a lot of good stuff. Some stuff I'm really not the biggest fan of, which we'll talk about, Brother Dusk and his love interest, his Romeo and Juliet story, but nonetheless I did enjoy this episode more than I disliked it. But we're going to break it all down, but again, let me know your thoughts in the comments. So let's start off this recap with the opening, which in the first time in a very long time, if I'm not mistaken, we pick up immediately after the events of last week as we see Salvar. She is like in awe of the inner belt, and this is where they are coming across this ghost ship, the Invictus, which is one of the most powerful weapon platforms the Empire has ever built, which we learn has been in disappearance for over 700 years. After previous failed attempts to board this ship, things are a little bit different for Farah this time because she has a commander who is the commander of the Imperial ship. So she's thinking that things will work out in her favor as they are making their board to this ghost ship. We'll see if this comes to fruition, but we get this death of Hugo. This is, I guess, the second time that we thought, or at least, I thought that Hugo died a couple weeks ago when they had that fight, but I assume he's dead this time around, or is he, as his thrusters aren't working and he's just kind of floating in space. I think Hugo's going to come back. He's going to probably save Salvar next week or in the finale. I don't think he's dead, but if he is dead, let's just play it as the show's trying to present that he's dead. I think if Hugo is dead, it is yet again another example to me of a death that feels rushed, that feels like it's not, executed properly. Thinking that he's dead, thinking that he's not dead, I don't really have the emotional connection to the character as it is. Like when Salvar's dad died last week, I'm a fan of the actor no less, and I'm sad that he's not going to be with us because I'm a big fan of him, but I didn't feel the weight. So if Hugo is dead, I personally do not care because I don't think the relationship has been built enough for me to have personal connections, but I don't think Hugo's dead. Let me know in the comments. Of course, probably the book readers can say, yeah, Hugo's going to come back, or no, he is dead, but who knows? It seems like a lot of the book readers are saying that the show has taken a very different route than the books have. But again, let me know your thoughts if you're a book reader or not a book reader. Is Hugo coming back? Because I think he is. But nonetheless, going back to catching up with one of, I think, the most interesting plot of this episode on the Sarah system, as Brother Day isn't happy with Demerzel kneeling last week and consider it a part of betrayal on her parts, and it goes against her programming, which she points out, well, if it's against my programming, sir, I wouldn't be physically able to kneel. So I love Demerzel as she is taking her position and coming back at the Emperor, which the Emperor, he gets some talking back to a lot in this episode, but it's in that conversation, and a lot of you all have pointed out in the comment section that is very interesting. I think this is just another example of foreshadowing in regards to, we've all have seen that Brother Dawn has been very different than his previous brothers, and a lot of you all have pointed out maybe Demerzel had something to do with his geneticism, that she might have tweaked some things, might have made some things differently, and we'll talk about Halima and how she wants this program to end. maybe they've been in cahoots for a very long time. So I think that you all are definitely on the money there, that there's definitely something going on with the system, with Brother Dawn, with Demerzel and Helema, maybe all being in cahoots with each other. Something to look forward to. But going back, we see the continued shock and the surprise by Brother Day as he learns that Demerzel is taking the walk of spiral, which is and she's done it in the past, and we know in this episode that this is a tradition of the luminous faith. So right now, Brother Day is like, I don't know who you are right now, but there's a lot of skeletons in your closet I want to learn about. But going back to one of the more intriguing dynamics between two characters, Helema gets her chance to ask or to say what she wants, and she simply tells Brother Day, I want the end of the genetic dynasty, as she shares her personal opinion about the Cleons. She has no filter. She has no fear, as she is literally talking to him in this tone in regards to Brother Day. This is what I want, and make it happen. So again, I'm very surprised by her, just her bluntness of it all, and she has no fear towards Brother Day. And this is the same brother that took out a whole planet, a whole civilization of people. So she has some cojones, to say the least. So, and again, I'm just really loving all the stuff that we're getting with these two characters. As we kind of wrap up that particular plot, Helema threats are exactly what Harry predicted. One of the major religions will strike as Day wants to take action, and this is where Brother Day wants to appeal to the three goddesses, and he wants to take that same walk, which is part of their tradition. So that's going to be a very interesting episode. I assume that's going to be next week's episode, but he has something to prove, and he wants to prove it to Helema, and we'll see what shakes out in that particular plot. But out of those 4 plots in this episode, that was the most intriguing. Again, I can't believe how she's coming at the Emperor, and of course the stuff that we learn about Demerzel. It's just a lot going on, and I'm really enjoying that plot. But going back to the Inner Belt, we see that Farah mentions that the defense systems are still active on the ship, and they very much are so, as we see the commander is able to get past the cannons, and he's able to get into the ship, but only to his surprise be shot in the face by Farah. Again, she is very cold, and she's very heartless, and we know she's on a mission. We learn that more about this ghost ship, and that the coordinates seems to be very sporadic, and they seem to just jump from one destination to the next, and it's just a matter of time before it jumps again. So they have to take control of the ship before it goes to a destination that they have no idea where it's headed next. We're going to check back into them in a second, but let's check in with our lovebirds, Romeo and Juliet, as they take their relationship to the next level, as they have sex in this episode. And it's in this moment, I don't know what it is about the gardener, but I feel like this is part of some type of setup. I don't know if this was a ploy by one of Brother Dusk. I don't know if this was a ploy by the Shadow Master or someone that we haven't met quite yet. But it does feel like it seems too easy. Again, this is young love. He's a young man. She's a young girl. Of course, we've seen this before in a lot of stories. I mentioned Romeo and Juliet. But it just seems too on the nose for me. I do think that she is... And this might be one of those situations where initially she wanted to do this spy traitor type of situation, infiltrate the Empire, and maybe she fell in love with him. But I do think this is part of some greater plan, just because, like I said, it just seems too on the nose and a little bit too easy of a love, and just too fast, if I'm being honest, in regards to his relationship. But neither here nor there as far as my thoughts and theories go with that. We see that he gives her more information about his imperfections. He even goes as far to show her the first original Cleon. She shows him the replacements of the current emperors and the current brothers in place. And we learned that again, from not being a book reader, I learned that if something doesn't go right with one of these brothers, they're easily replaceable. And this is where, again, I'm not the biggest fan of like this love story, and kind of, if I'm being honest, it's really the performances. I think that Brother Dawn is not the best in his performances. Again, the way they portray him, he's meant to be kind of subtle, scared, timid, kind of younger kid trying to learn and obviously follow the footsteps of his older brothers. But I just don't think that actor has really given me all of that quite yet. But even putting that aside, I do find it interesting for that character to just always be on eggshells. He knows that if they know about his imperfections, they know about all the stuff that he's not doing the same things that his brothers have done from generations and generations before him, he can die in a heartbeat. So I kind of really am intrigued by that fascination of him just being on the edge of death whenever something can go wrong. And just seeing that was very interesting. But going back to just kind of a solution that she brings up, I can help you out. I can change your appearance. I can get the tracker out of you. And they even have a moment for him to have his own life. And they have this moment where he's able to look into outside of the palace and see the outside world. So that stuff is intriguing. I just wish that the performances were just a little bit more engaging for my personal taste. But I do like where the plot's headed. And again, let me know if you guys feel the same thing about that gardener, that she is either a spy on a mission that is falling in love, or this is all part of the mission, or there's no mission at all and this is just genuine love. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. But let's go back to our ghost ship as we kind of wrap up this particular plot. Salvar attempts to fight back only to lose one of her own, and we see that Farah is just even more gung-ho on this suicide mission to destroy the Empire. So we're going to see what happens with this ghost ship, because if she gets full control of this planet killer, the Empire will crumble. So let me know what you all thought of that plot. But as we wrap up, and again, I feel like this plot kind of came out of left field. I did not expect this to come in the middle of the episode and kind of wrap up the episode. And this is stuff that we get with Gail and Harry. As, like I said, I just felt like it felt kind of misplaced, but let me know how you all felt about it. But again, it was some good stuff. As we see them talking, she's talking to his subconscious, or talking to his conscious that he was able to kind of digitize, but there's obviously some issues going on here as he's just continuously living the loop of when he died. She's able to temporarily talk to him in this loop, and this is where that Harry learns about more in particular about the plans and how it fell through, and how the plan with his son didn't work out, how Gail was supposed to be on Terminus to create the Foundation, but obviously things did not plan out and play out the way that it was supposed to be. We see that the conscious is able to go into the ship system, and we get like this new version of Harry. So he is dead. He's officially dead, but we're now going to be following Harry in his consciousness on this ship. And I'm pretty sure with technology, she'll be able to take his consciousness and implement it on like a system and take him around wherever she needs to go. So he's physically not there, but he's emotionally, spiritually, mentally there, which we all know that's the best part of Harry, right? It's his mental, it's his intellect. So that's going to be really interesting to follow this character for the rest of the season. But we get in this conversation that he learned that he was ill. That's one of the reasons why he wanted to take out his, to kill himself and to have this mission go into place. And essentially he was performing. This whole thing about him creating Terminus and being part of the Foundation was all a lie, at least the way that Gail sees it in the creation of the Foundation. But kind of wrapping up the episode, we see that she learns about Risha's part into all this and how he knew about the plans and how he really didn't want them to fall through because he really loved Gail. He wanted to be with her. So we know that's how things kind of unfortunately played out. We end the episode with Harry questioning her in regards to her breaking her routine. And this is a pretty big moment here. This is when we learn about her special abilities, her special gift, which we saw in the first two episodes. And she initially says and ends the episode with her saying she can feel the future, which to me is almost very similar to what's going on with Salvar. So are they related? Are they somehow connected? Only time will tell, but they seem to have the exact same power set to be able to see or to feel the future. We see that Salvar can literally see into the past, but it seems like she can also see into the future to a certain extent. So maybe she can just do into the past while we see that Gail can see into the future. So again, what's the correlation between those two? I can't wait to find out. But again, like I said, as far as my criticisms go, the performance with the young man that plays Brother Dawn, isn't completely working for me, but I'm really kind of fascinated by his being on the edge of death and knowing that he has fear that if he makes mistakes, he can easily be replaced. I like all that stuff, and just knowing if that girl is a spy or not is very intriguing. But again, I say the positives really lie with Lee Pace. The faith that those people have. Demerzel and her past is very intriguing. The stuff with Terminus and Salvar versus Farah, that stuff is really kind of keeping me intrigued in this season so far. But overall, I did enjoy this episode, even with my criticisms. But more importantly, I want to know your positives, your negatives, your favorite plot, your least favorite plot, and of course what you all hope to see in future episodes, because we only got 3 left. So let me know your thoughts in the comments. If you stuck around to this point in the video, I appreciate every single one of you all. Before you leave, make sure to like the video, share the video, leave your thoughts in the comments, and of course subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Since we are sci-fi fans, I just wanted to share with you all, as you all probably know by the time this video is out, because this is pre-recorded, My Dune fans out there, we got the official announcement that Dune Part 2 will be coming in 2023. I just want to put that out there. If you haven't already, check out my review that I did for Dune. I'm just really excited because I'm a big sci-fi fan. I know you all are sci-fi fans, so let's talk about the celebration of Dune Part 2 coming in 2 years. But nonetheless, thank you all for watching this review. Hope you enjoyed it. Hope you're staying safe. As you can see on the screen now, subscribe to my channel, check out my other content, and we'll see you in the next video.